Taking a look in the first game of this best-of-3 set in our monthly finals here. Take a look at the opening splits. It looks like we have 3 crossers coming out through the beach for both of these teams, looking to make 3-point play. Nice and tangled. Not going to land, though, coming out there from Bear. Gets Phantom in combat, but is it going to be enough? Rainbowkin's probably going to make sure he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't actually get the cap there. So no cap at the start of this game.
Yeah, it looks like Darkins is focusing on Phantom here first. Phantom always known for going for that far point here. Looks like they're going to get that taunt. Amon going to plus this one as well. They're going to take the kill on Phantom just in a matter of time right now. Looks like Amon going to be forcing him off with Darkins there. Darkins going to go for that cap as we're actually going to be seeing Karina cycle off towards this midpoint where Stalacta was eliminated already here, and it doesn't look like Rainbowkins has the ability to save him right now as 3 members of the Absurd are going to swarm that body and make sure that he can't get anything out of it, especially with that Toss Elixir X coming out as well. However, looking now at the mine point, actually, Daniel losing the 1v1 to Nos here, and it looks like he's going to be going down shortly as well, and that's going to be probably a 2-cap in favor of the Absurd here, and that is going to happen right now. It looks like actually we're going to see Rainbowkins cycle in, perhaps.
I don't
Daniel
know.
was taken out.
Nos had a nice transfer onto Daniel there. 6 stacks of burns and more. Now Rainbowkins under so much pressure. He's taken down there by the barrage coming out there from Chase, so going to eliminate 2 members when it didn't look like originally he was going to be taken out. Despite that, the decap actually came out over at the Henge point where Wakey was able to pick that one up for the team. Now Toker is actually down over here at Henge, but is it enough? Phantom might be going in for the res. He's at about 50% HP with no cantrips left. Nice updraft. Doggerkins doesn't solidify the stop because of the updraft, and that might have really hurt them because of the fact they get him up with Wakey plussing the fight as well. Now Phantom under a lot of pressure, uses his heal signet to get out of that one just in case. Has water attunement up as well. He should be okay for the time being. Amon might try and spike him down. It looks like they do, and he takes him out.
This is a DPS race, though. Darkins not going to be able to get this up, so Phantom is going to be coming right back up as Darkins did fall to Toker there, and Toker was able to eliminate him quickly through the stealth as well. So Stalacta now being taken out. This is not what we, I mean, actually this is probably what we expected. Let's be honest. This is probably what we expected.
It was either that, it was, you know, it's kind of out of nowhere. They got a win on a point or a win on a couple points. I mean, fights for that matter for just couldn't finish, or that this is happening. And unfortunately, this is happening for this just couldn't finish team. And we might see a 3-cap coming out for the Absurd, but not. I mean, they're not going to be giving up here. There's the cap on the mine point. I bet we can still expect some plays coming out from them.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to take out both Toker and Nos here from this mine point. They do have control over it. Daniel right now forcing Nos into Plague with his teammates right here. Looks like Nos is going to turn that one back around as Toker is healthy again as well. Has the cooldowns ready to go. Looks like he's going to be able to put some damage down onto Karina here. Going to lock Karina down a little bit, and it's going to force him into Death Shroud. However, Daniel right now is at about 50% HP, is loaded up with some poison as well, so not going to be able to get too much out of that water attunement, and he's going to be dropped very, very quickly. Looks like he's going to be going down in just a second here at about 20%, is able to get some of his heals back up and take that poison off as well.
Yeah, he's okay.
Get back up and healthy.
He's okay for now, but the lead that the Absurd have you know, surmounted to, it's over 100 points right now, and it's really going to hurt them. Hurt the blue team in any chance whatsoever to come back in the near future. Nos is pretty low here, but no points in favor of this blue team. The decap came out from Amon at the midpoint. It's a nice pickup, but he doesn't want to force a 1v1 against Wakey. That's just not going to be any good news for him or the rest of his team. And it looks like they could pick up the sides potentially. We do have them forcing him out of the mine. Stalacta's left alone at the Henge point, excuse me. And Amon's all over Chase. Needs to be careful, though. They don't want to be taken out. We're going to see the first 2-cap of this game. No, we are not, actually. Daniel gets plus by Toker, or Phantom, excuse me.
Yeah, Toker actually going to be taken out by some bleed stacks here. Donkin's going to go for that. It looks like he might go for the stomp. Not sure if he's actually going to go for it. Does actually go for it. So that is going to be Toker out.
A 2-cap actually came out here for the blue team, but Nos went around the backside of the keep, able to get the decap. Still, mid is not, you know, in favor of the Absurd. It's been a while since they've actually had a cap in their favor here. So, you know, a little bit of a comeback, I want to say that. I mean, at least a little hope for just couldn't finish. If they can keep this up, this could be something, you know, for them to get back into this one.
Yeah, and I mean, they like you say, I mean, they do have the possibility of being able to do this here. I mean, they have the ability to take down Wakey right now. Chase actually getting that, getting the rampage at such a great time for them, able to turn the pressure down onto Daniel here, who's at about 50% HP, and then, I mean, that pretty much solidified Wakey's, you know, being able to be alive at this point. Because I mean, if he didn't get that rampage, he would be so dead here. They would have landed that taunt, they would have landed the pressure down, but the you know, the sustain and the CC that came out from Chase being able to get that rampage was so huge and pivotal pretty much in terms of Wakey being able to stay alive and stay into this fight, and that might be the factor that brings him.
Still taken down though. Chase going in for the S-res. Wakey's under so much pressure as well. We're gonna see the cap at the hinge as well, and Fader is back up in the fight.
They are not getting that one.
I mean, oh excuse me, yeah, he admitted Vapor form. They're not getting him, as you were saying.
Oh, they might actually take Nos in the process. They push him off the point. The rapid fire goes in as well.
Look at Daniel. Daniel's under a whole lot of pressure. Nice taunt coming out there from Dongerkins. Isn't enough. We're going to see a 2-cap as well coming out here for Just Couldn't Finish. Daniel under so much pressure from Chaith right here. Wakey is pretty low as well, but Daniel is actually taking out Nos. Look at his health pool for so long. He's been so low.
Amon in the area. He's going to be able to get that stealth. Probably going to get the full res off too. Toker's not going to be able to have enough damage to finish this here, looks like. And they do get him back up. They're going to cycle back onto the point, I think, or even take out Toker. Toker now forcing himself back up, but Wakey was taken down as well. Nos so low here still. They're going to turn the pressure down onto him. He gets taunted. The life force is drained. He has Plague, but he doesn't want to use it now. That's a huge cooldown. That's two members of Absurd downstated.
Wakey's back up though.
Chase able to get that res off, like you were saying, able to get that res off, get Wakey back up, but Nos was eliminated. They're going to be able to turn down onto Wakey now. Wakey down at about 20% health, doesn't have those runes anymore to save him, but forces himself.
He's okay with that lightning flash. He should be okay, but that cap over at the hedge, they're not big time. It's not a tie game, but they are back into it, no doubt in my mind. If they can continue to pick up some kills, really, really good rotations coming out
once again with the rampage, though, all over Rainbowkins, who has already forced some cooldowns out. Right now, with Toker being in there as well, was able to land the backstab just a couple moments ago, and Rainbowkins actually taking some of that heat with Chaith now out of the rampage, and it looks like they had so much counter pressure that he is now forced into that Elixir S, and he's going to be taken out as well. Like he said, laid to rest right here.
But the thing is, we were seeing excellent rotations from Just Couldn't Finish. Now the Absurd are better rotations, or at least for the set of them, rather. Nos coming off a respawn, going to get the full cap over at the hedge, so they're going to have the 2-cap despite a huge turn of events in favor of Just Couldn't Finish, working their way back up into this game. Fanaram getting that cap over there at the mine, and Wakey still in the fight at the midpoint. They need that cap desperately now, and there's still a few ticks away from getting it. And Wakey getting support from the rest of his team. He's still under so much pressure right here. Water attunement up in a couple of seconds, but Toker and Chaith in the area now, and it looks like Fanaram making his way over there to that hinge point to help out the 2v1. Still, they're going to work themselves back up to a 100-point lead, despite losing almost every fight.
Yeah, I mean, this blue team is doing such a good job in these team fights. Unfortunately, though, Amon has been such a big part in maintaining that pressure, and unfortunately for them, he's not able to do his job to kind of work out Toker, and Toker's been able to kind of work around here and do the same thing, but just to a little bit more effect so far. Dongerkin's now taken out by Toker, as I was saying there. It looks like he's going to be able to cycle back over and support this fight over on Hinge, where right now he's probably going to be able to take out Amon if Amon forces himself out of stealth here, which looks like he's going to try to not do here, as he does see Toker in the area trying to eliminate Rainbowkins.
Yeah, Rainbowkins had no way getting out of that one. Maybe should have tried to dodge roll onto the point, at least die on the point for that matter, but he's just going to be bled out. The rest of the blue team, however, making their way back to the midpoint because they didn't actually get on Stalactite. They didn't finish him off. He's still under a little bit of pressure, but never actually fully killed him. Now he's going into the downstate. Amon going to come in trying for the res, but that grenade barrage, so much damage coming out there from 3 members of the Absurd as they're back over a comfortable, over a 100-point lead right here. And Just Couldn't Finish. All they need to do right now, they need to regroup right here because they got 2 members on respawn. There's nothing they can do but hurt themselves if they attempt for these other 2 nodes.
Yeah, this was looking so close just a moment ago, unfortunately slipping away for this team. Looks like the taunt did come out as well from Dongerkins. I mean, that's pretty much how they're able to take so many of these kills, those taunts at just, really the best possible time here. And because of the potency of that taunt and being able to take him out of evade frames, take him out of, even sometimes invuln frames with that boy Frenzy and stuff like that as well. I mean, taunt is such an insane utility for him to be able to use here in these fights, and that's basically what's been kind of carrying him in some of these team fights. Looks like Amon right now going to be able to take out Chase.
Oh, just barely.
stuck in Elixir S right now. Unfortunately for Amon, not able to time that out.
I mean, he does take him out, which is a nice pickup. But around the map, they're still losing. I mean, they don't have Henge, they don't have mid. They're still losing the fight over here at the mine as well as Rainbow King's not going to be able to get that res on Daniel. Toker's in the area as well as Nas. There's no way that res is going to happen. They don't have any support coming out from the other members. There's the first 3 cap of the game. Gonna probably sustain for a while for the Absurd as they work up towards that. Actually, no, the 2 caps got the deco at the midpoint, but despite that, they're nearing that 400-point mark, which is obviously, I don't know.
Wakey
is
in
it
the
too early
downstate
to call this?
Amon able to take him out. If Fanaram can get him back up, that'll be huge, but I don't think that that's actually going to be able to happen. I mean, it's 400 to about, it's about 400 to about 200 right now. I mean, we're talking about a huge deficit already with only about 4.5 minutes left. You're talking about a team like Absurd who's not going to let things just slip through their fingers. I don't see them taking this map, but I do think that they should be looking at right now the, you know, kind of like the silver lining that, you know, they were able to hold most of these team fights off and win a lot of them. I mean, they are causing havoc across the entire map because of the way that this Ranger operates and because of the fact that Amon has been able to provide so much burst damage in a lot of these team fights as well. I mean, this has been huge for them. They might be able to hold this on Legacy, but once again, Legacy is still such a tough map to take against Absurd. We're going to be seeing a 1 cap in favor of the blue team style. Actually, in the downstate here, it looks like Amon's going to be going for that full res with the SR. Toker right now going to be trying to kill off Rainbowkins in the meantime, but that is not going to happen. They're going to go all in on Chase, who goes into Elixir S. They're just absolute brawling right now in the middle of the map, trying to just skirmish down a couple of members, maybe move the point over, or sorry, move the fight over towards a point. And that is going to be the mine point where Daniel actually did just get a decap. We're going to be seeing Fanaram do the same across over on Hinge, and red team still holding on to this key point.
Look at all 5 members of this blue team right now. You know, moving over to this mine point right here, but there's not a whole lot they can do with 3 members of the Absurd just sitting around there, not sitting at the midpoint. Fanaram moving over to that mine, probably making his way over there, but Rainbow King's not in a good situation. I'm not exactly sure why. They're trying to get on top of Toker, which is not a bad idea, and he's probably going to be taken down here, but despite that, they still haven't even secured the point. There's actually the security over at the mine point. Wakey is taken down, so I take that back, but still, they have to, I don't see this happening. This is going to be game number 1. I mean, 30 points away with the 2 cap. Fanaram sitting over there at the hinge point. I don't see that happening. I think Just Couldn't Finish is probably thinking about what they need to do on that second map. If any swaps comp-wise, I don't think we'll see anything comp-wise because these guys are pretty set to those classes.
Yeah, this is the map that they really needed to set some momentum on. They really needed to make sure that they could kind of at least get extremely close, put Absurd on the back foot and say, you know what, hey, we really need to consider some things here because, I mean, this is a tough matchup. I mean, this for them is actually a kind of tough matchup. I mean, we saw 500 to 243. That's a handed victory for the Absurd, but those team fights were huge. Unfortunately, they lost completely on rotations, but and of course you also have the RNG factor of the engineer getting the rampage, I think like 3 out of 5 times throughout the match.
That really hurt them. And I mean, we saw how it swayed the fights in favor of the Absurd eventually, but like you said, the opening fights of that game, or maybe not the opening, but the middle on, it really looked like Just Couldn't Finish could get back into that game, and they did for the time being, but the rotations for them were just not even close to the caliber that the Absurd was, throughout the match.
And that unfortunately kind of comes down to Amon. I mean, Amon is usually so good at that, at doing that. He's probably in terms of having that game sense to make those rotations, go for those decaps, and kind of plus some fights, he typically, you a lot of times hear people talking about how he's kind of on Toker's level in that sense. He's able to make those rotations and make those calls on the fly. Unfortunately for him, against the Absurd, he cannot make those same rotations. He's going up against Toker. He's basically shut down. We saw the same thing with Syndrenor versus Toker. Those Thieves are not able to play the same way that they normally do because of the caliber of play that's happening in that game.
And we saw the same thing from Happy Kid on Spooky in that semifinal matchup. Happy Kid had incredible rotations for the most part, but ultimately, it's not just how your Thief rotates against the Absurd that might work against other teams, but against the Absurd, you got to have everybody on the same page in that rotating style. Because if it's just Amon rotating really well for them, Toker is going to do just that, if not better. And if he happens to fall a little bit behind you, the rest of his team is going to pick up that slack, if any, on his end. And you have to have all your team members on that same page of rotations. And if they're not, you're going to not out-rotate them.
Yeah, and I think Toker is probably the best at picking off the stragglers. I mean, if you're caught in between points and he sees you, you are gone. I mean, there is absolutely no way that you're going to get away. I mean, you see it all the time where, I mean, you saw it last game several times in a row where you saw people trying to make those rotations, trying to make those plays that you're talking about. But if they are a little bit too slow, if they come off a little bit too late from that point, you're going to see Toker slide in, cut them off. And we saw that actually against Sunfest where he came in, tried to make a play, and Toker just completely outplayed him. Yeah, and taking a look at our second game on Legacy, the Fofar, we actually, just speaking of that, Toker actually swaps over to the Engineer, looking to, they're not going to be able to, obviously not a Thief, not going to be spiking people down or doing those excellent rotations as a Thief, but still, you can rotate as an Engineer, obviously. And I like that. I don't know. What do you think about this, him moving over to it? What do you think the purpose is for that? I think the biggest thing is that they want to have that downstate cleave. They want to make sure that they have no control. He doesn't necessarily need to be on the Thief to make those very, quick rotations across the map because you basically go from point to point to point in a line. That's basically the way that this works, or else you're wasting a lot of time. So I think that's the main reason why he picks Engie in this setup. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it works versus the double Ranger that we're actually seeing from this blue team here. It looks like we're going to be seeing the Black Power Ranger as well, which I believe is Amon here. And he's going to be setting up with the same build here. However, he's going to go for the Marauder Amulet instead. And it looks like Pink Power Ranger, which is still Bear, going to be going over towards the Berserker Amulet still. I mean, both Rangers still picking up the same build, Wilderness, Survival, Nature Magic, Beastmaster here. The only difference is going to be the Amulets, Marauder versus Berserker. So versus an Engineer, you have both of these Rangers. They're not going to be able to Condi pressure them with these Engineers. I mean, I think the biggest thing is that they're going to try to eliminate them in the cleave, and that's going to be the biggest thing. Let's take a look at the opening split for this. If the Abjured take this game, they will be crowned your monthly victors. Wakey going to that quarry node. We're going to have Rainbowkins to the Waterfall. So a 1-1-3 coming out here for the Abjured, a 1-2-2 coming out here for Just Couldn't Finish. I mean, what do you think about this this opening split here? Already we're seeing Florida Boy Dustin take so much pressure from this Double Ranger. The Double Ranger is so potent if you get stuck in a 2v1 or a 3v1 situation, because you are not going to be able to do anything other than get kited and just full-blown pressure in your face. We are seeing Chaith get the Rampage once again. At this point, you got to believe he's running a Game Shark or something. This is ridiculous. Able to get this so often. Florida Boy Dustin was taken out, and it looks like Karina was also taken out as well, but Pink Power Ranger is going to make sure that they get the kill off on this Engie. So much damage from the Rangers. There's not a whole lot they can do about that. I mean, given the fact that he really didn't have anyone there to support him. So, nice kill coming up to them. You can't deny that. Now it looks like Nas under a bit of pressure. Pops the Plague almost immediately, but still the Abjured going to be holding on to that Waterfall node over here at the quarry. A 1v1 between Daniel and Wakey. That is going to take quite some time to progress unless we do see, it looks like Pink Power Ranger and maybe Chaith moving towards that area. We'll have to see if this one ends up being a 3v2 as Rainbowkins moving over here as well. Actually, we're going to see Nos in a huge amount of immobilized right now, and they CC him so hard, put him up against the wall. Taunt comes out as well. They're going to make sure that they take him out as soon as this thing ends here, and they're going to try to control it right now. Right now, Pink Power Ranger is taken down so low. So many Condis on him. Look at these conditions. Absolutely obliterating him. It looks like Style going to be going for that res, but I do not think that he's going to be able to get that one. Nos right now taking some counter pressure, though. Looks like Pink Power Ranger on him as well. Looks like Style going to be going for the stomp. They might actually get this one. They do. They get Black Power Ranger back up into it. And look at the point spread. I mean, it's not that bad at all. They can definitely turn this one back around. 2 members down from the Abjured here. And the Black Power Ranger going over to the Waterfall, going to be pursued by Phantom. That's what we're talking about, keeping up with the rotations. That is the reason he's going to be able to hold on to that Waterfall. He's not even sitting at the midpoint. He's confident that, if I'm not mistaken, Florida Boy Dustin can hold on to that point. Actually, no, does get full cap there by Just Couldn't Finish. So that's a really nice pickup. The decap comes out at the Waterfall too. I don't know, those first 2 kills pretty convincing. Good start coming out here for Just Couldn't Finish. Yeah, and Pink Power Ranger and Black Power Ranger right now against Fanaram here. This is the setup you want, that double taunt. Wow. Look at the spike on that. Fanaram now at about 5%. I do not expect him to be able to sustain versus this one here. Fanaram does have that focus out just to make sure that he can kind of sustain, has has the reflect, has that swirling winds as well, which is going to be definitely a lot better than the dagger offhand. But still, there's just so many things that he has to answer here with this double ranger play.
Yeah, and we do see on the other side of the map, Rainbow King's actually taken down there in that 2v2 Stalacta. We'll have to see. He's probably not going to be able to sustain too much longer. Actually, still a 2v2, so Nas and Wakey took out Rainbow Kings in a 3v2 with double DDLE in that fight to support him and still took him out. That is something else. And now Stal is forced out of here because Florida Boy Dustin doesn't want to give him the full cap over there. Now Daniel, I mean, he's going to be taken out here, and we're going to see the plus going to the midpoint. So, Rainbow Kings coming off of respawn. We'll have to see where he decides to go, but I don't see Daniel lasting much longer.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, man. Oh, he had water attunement, but wasn't able to get it off. There's the full cap on Corey coming out for the Endured.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to push this one right into the midpoint, actually, where we're going to be seeing probably Absurd take that one as they pretty much handedly are taking the waterfall node right now. Looks like Black Power Ranger just trying to stay alive right now. Does have his heal go and troll and there. And it's going to save him for the time being, but not for too much longer, as he does have both of those rifle shots just going into his chest right now over and over and over. And that's going to be enough to take him down. However, Pink Power Ranger was right there, ready to go. Does have that trait where he does have the search and rescue, so his pet was able to assist in that res there as well. So the reses are going to be really, really quick coming from these Rangers, and that's going to be able to get them back up into it when they get into these 2v1 situations. And once again, Chaith with the rampage here.
Again, my goodness. And now they're going to start, if they clean up this fight, they're going to start to surge ahead in points, especially with Stalactile dying at the midpoint and about to be taken down the Black Power Ranger. He is taken into the down state. That should be a free kill for the most part. He should be able to, try to overcharge shot him, but didn't actually fly back there. Still going in for the res onto him, even despite the Mo and the Vampers. There is the overcharge shot, if I'm not mistaken, coming out from one of the guys there. And finally solidifying that kill onto the Ranger.
No, it's not enough. Not for the Black Power Ranger. He's coming right back up into it. His pet is there. He's going to get back up. He's going to stay alive for the meantime. Looks like Chaith right now trying to finish the job on him, though, and he's probably going to get swarmed. Actually, Phantom was taken out, though, and they might have an opportunity here to turn this, but the Greatsword, unfortunately, just no downstate cleave at all. It doesn't have too much damage at all. Very low power scaling. Really low base damage as well. So
it didn't do a whole lot in that sense, but now they are forced out of that waterfall. We will see a 3 cap coming out here for the Abjured. Kind of expected in a way, but they definitely put up a fight in the first few opening minutes for it, just couldn't finish. Didn't really expect that. They're not going to be giving up, no doubt, in this one. I'm sure we'll see, at least some more points going in their favor here. We'll have to see what they decide to do, because they're really spread out right now, especially with Rainbow Kings in the downstate, or fully dead, and the Black Power Ranger about to be taken out at the graveyard.
Yeah, it looks like Wakey right now in some trouble, as Style and Pink Power Ranger are all over him right now. He's at about 20% HP. He's going to be forced off this here. Style going to follow this one up as the Pink Power Ranger goes ahead and tries to put some damage in as well. Dustin's going to rotate onto the point, though. Pink Power Ranger at about 90%, forced off for now. Wakey right now still taking a lot of heat. We're going to be seeing Phantom plus this, so we're going to be seeing Wakey probably dropped relatively soon unless Phantom can keep him alive, which doesn't look like that's happening so far. Although Phantom getting a huge water heal with that attunement, dodging into him as well, so Wakey going to be saved. Rainbow Kings is in the area, though, and they still have Wakey so low. No water attunement for him at the moment. But still, I mean, with this Ranger not able to turn the pressure, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to solidify a kill here.
And Rainbow King's going to be taken down there. There is going to be the S-Stomp coming out there from Florida Boy Dustin. Of course, they don't have that stealth from Thief as Amon went over to that Ranger. Now, the Elixir X, once again, a rampage for Chaith at the midpoint. I think that's 3 out of 3.
That's
3 out of 3 in this game. Over a 200-point lead right here. I mean, he's getting pretty low. We'll have to see how if he's able to sustain himself. Has his heal up in a few seconds now. He's being chased, gets his stealth off, should be okay, gets the heal off as well. I feel like this could definitely be it for just couldn't finish the Pink Power Ranger. A lot of pressure now as well with 10 bleeds. We're taking on him. Oh man, the burst damage coming out there from Florida Boy Dustin, who gets the rampage as well. That is going to be the end of him.
Yeah, Pink Power Ranger is going to be eliminated here with this stomp. Daniel right now going to be focused on Dustin. Was able to get that rampage as well. I don't think we've seen a single tornado all game. I think this has been nothing but rampage so far.
And Daniel now just being, oh man, look at the CC. They are just tearing him apart, able to get back to his gate and try and make sure he stays alive. Over here at the quarry, though, it looks like Stalacta in a 2v1 against Nas and Phantom not going to be able to hold on much longer. Oh, he just gets blown up there as well. And over at the waterfall, the Black Power Ranger trying to do wonders against Wakey, going to get plussed by Chaith, though. you know, 300-point lead right here. This is just, you know, not quite what we wanted from Just Couldn't Finish, but, you know, this is the Absurd's best, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 366 to 46. We're seeing a 220-point split right now. I mean, this is big for them. They already have those 2-point cap right there. Daniel right now going for that cap on Graveyard, but probably going to lose his teammate in the process here as Pink Power Ranger is eliminated here. You guys are going to downstate. No one in the area to really kind of prevent any stomp from coming out. Phantom going to solidify that one right now, and they're going to move on into this midpoint where the decap was basically just held there, neutralized for quite a long time as the fight does gravitate over towards the waterfall, where right now Wakey actually is taken very, very low. Probably going to be dropped with the bleeds, actually. Does get dropped into downstate, but Shaith is in the area, could potentially get something here as Black Power Ranger was dropped. Nos going for it, does get knocked off though. This could be huge. Daniel right now trying to get a res going. Black Power Ranger still at about 50% health.
Nos
is very low as well.
He should be able to get it. Gets it. Wakey's back up into the fight because of that Plague Stomp. And I mean, they should have saw that coming. I'm very surprised they didn't actually really full-on attempt for that res.
Yeah, and now Daniel's probably going to be going down very shortly as well, as we're going to be seeing this this NG just absolutely just decimate him here. There's just so much constant pressure coming out from these engineers right now, and with the Rampage luck, it's just absolutely insane. The pressure is just insane right now. Nos right now on the point. Looks like he's going to be trying to hold this waterfall node for his team. They're going to solidify this victory for themselves, as we actually saw Pink Power Ranger taking Graveyard node right now. We're going to see actually the Ranger, Black Power Ranger coming off a respawn, going over towards the quarry node, where he's going to try to eliminate Dustin from this fight here. It looks like Dustin actually taking a little bit of pressure, but it's safe for now. And it looks like actually Phantom doing a good job of controlling this node. I don't really see anything happening here. However, we did see a plus from the other Ranger. They're going to try to follow up on Florida Boy Dustin, but if they get into these close quarters, I don't think they're going to be able to eliminate as easily as they are going to be able to, you know, by pulling him out there. Daniel was taken out over at the waterfall. Nos going to be holding that node. This is pretty much the point where we could say this is probably going to be GG.
This is going to be the end for Just Couldn't Finish. Probably going to have some GGs called here in a few seconds. So the Absurd, you know, looking strong throughout the day. Might have been, you know, questioned a few times by Spooky, and at least, you know, in the last game on Forest by Just Couldn't Finish. And at the start of this one, I mean, can't deny that they definitely had something in their pocket at some point, and despite losing pretty brutally here on Legacy of the Fofar, and, you know, they put up a decent amount on Forest as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they got, I mean, to use the word again, they got savage this game for sure. Absolutely savage. But, you know, they did have some points where it was like, hey, this could happen. I mean, this could happen. We're talking about, you know, on Forest, they were pretty close there. They had a couple of opportunities, unfortunately for them. They weren't able to really get anything going. I mean, we're looking at a team that has players who mechanically are very strong. I mean, you're talking about Emanatori, you're talking about people like Bear. I mean, those are the kind of guys that have been really kind of taking it to a lot of these 1v1 and 2v2 tournaments on the side that you don't necessarily always hear about, but they've been really dominating a lot of those tournaments. They're mechanically very strong players. The whole roster is filled with pretty strong players. Stalacta, another player that has played at that high level with Team Rocket, which was actually Sunfish's team, who's now on Spooky.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's some huge stuff right there. You have a great roster, but unfortunately for them, they're still a new team, sort of. They still kind of have recently come together. Aman as well as Bear, of course, playing with each other for so long.
Yeah,
I mean, they used to.
Long time.
Yeah, they've definitely known each other for a very long time, been playing together. But you know, they just haven't really kind of fixed a lot of their issues with rotation and making sure that they have their synergy going all the time. It's probably a couple of communication errors, and once they fix that, I think it's going to be a good team.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to credit the fact that the Absurd have obviously been around much longer than them.
Absolutely.
And I mean, those guys are pretty new to the ESL, like we said, third or fourth one at that, making it to the finals, beating Radioactive in the semifinals. Pretty impressive on there, and you got to credit them for that. So congrats to them on taking home second place, and the Absurd, of course, on taking home first place, as well as third and fourth being that for Radioactive and Spooky. Really good games that we had today overall. What can we take away from this one?
I mean, well, first of all, congratulations to the Absurd. I mean, They deserve it here. They've been doing so good for so long. We're talking about several months and of just domination. And actually, Chaith is going ahead and giving you guys the secret to Rampage every single time. Just always be angry, man. That's always be angry. And you got to take his word for it because it was working. I mean, he always He was always rampaging, and same with Toker. I mean, it looks like the secret has been given away to Toker as well, as he went over there as well. But, you know, despite that, they did such a great job. I want to say thank you guys to everybody who has been following. We had a lot of support, and I appreciate that for sure. It's been a lot of fun. The games have been good, and hopefully you guys win something from those giveaways.
Yeah, and to capitalize on Chase, always be angry, man. After those victories, I don't know how they can be angry. So, especially the first one, pretty good games coming out from them, of course. But I believe, I mean, do we have a couple giveaways from our personal stash, if I'm not mistaken?
Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter as well. Of course, I'm going to be at CT Heurix, right at the bottom of your screen there. And that is you're going to be at Game with Storm. So make sure you go over to our Twitter accounts, follow us, because after this stream, once the stream is over, we're going to be putting something on our Twitter accounts. We're going to be tweeting out something. Make sure you follow our accounts and then also retweet us as well. And you guys will be eligible for another set of giveaways. Once again, I do want to say again, I think the Twitter giveaway for ESL is still going on as well. So go over to twitter.com/ESLGW2 and use the hashtag Go4GuildWars2 to be eligible for that one as well. So, I mean, I believe that's for either a shirt or a little Charlie here.
Charlie. I mean, he's been a trooper as always today. So.
Yep, as always, man. I didn't do a little Lion King thing today for you guys, but, you know, he's definitely, you're going to want that one for sure.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed I'm not walking home with that one. But again, want to thank all of the teams for participating today, as well as enjoyed being up here with Heurix as always, and all of you guys for joining us today. I believe that wraps up our show. We hope to see you next month for the ESL monthly. I'm not exactly sure the date on that, but we hope to see you then. Thank you all once again for tuning in, and have a good night.